Yeah, I think this is interesting discussion sooner. I do think that he'll continue to get more and more carries as the season goes on. I think his fumble in his first carry didn't necessarily do him any favors, but um, I think with Riley in the past, like anytime something like that happened, it was like an immediate pull. He got pulled. He would get pulled from the game. And things like that. And so a little bit different mentality here. But yeah, I think he'll probably start getting a little bit more looks in that running back game. But both Eric Gray and Marcus Major were really good today. Particularly Marcus Major in between the tackles, getting those tough runs. When Oklahoma needed them to. So yeah, I think you like what you see out of the running backs here. I think wide receiver wise, Jaleel Farouk wasn't quite as involved as I would have expected him to. Um, Sorry, guys, my computer's going nuts here. Um, Jaleel Farouk wasn't quite as involved, only one catch for 9 yards. He had one drop, but he wasn't as involved. But you'll see that timing get down a little bit better as the season goes on. The passing game is much more of a timing and situation, and with this being the first year of the install of the levy system, you certainly expect that on both sides of the ball not to get cleaned up as the season moves forward. EFB, it was not a good game. I can think of only one team on the schedule who will let them play this poorly and win. That's the next team. Yeah, sorry, I completely disagree with that. I think the team played really well. You won the game by 32 points. You only give up one touchdown, a couple of really long field goals. Don't really agree that this was not a good game. I thought this was a very solid opener for Oklahoma, and so I'm not sure what to what you would expect in game one, and so but I think it was solid from my perspective. Yes, definitely ran through contact better, looked more like the guy that you expected last year. I think coming from Tennessee, but yeah, I would agree with you. He definitely looked much better than he did last year, um, without a doubt. Braden Wills played great, and so did Eric and Marcus. Yeah, I think that's probably the silver lining on the defensive side of the ball was, what is the defense going to bring? What is the defense going to continue to bring in terms of the secondary and things like that? So, played a lot of guys. Trey Morrison struggled a little bit. I think your first your first team guys played pretty well all across the board, but I think when you come in, maybe the depth isn't as solid in certain places as you would like it to be. So that excuse me, that certainly plays into it, and I think that will play into the strategy kind of going forward, making sure that depth is where you need to be, and if it's not, you got guys that are playing maybe a little bit more than you typically would like, but I think you've got good depth around on the defensive line. And then in certain spots on linebacker position as well. But then maybe not quite as much at this point, at least at this point, on the in the secondary. But we'll see how that continues to play out for sure. Um, Play the game in the round. Yeah, that was very, very, very interesting. I didn't see him play a ton outside of that one, but that was obviously a very specific set of specific play for Gavin Freeman, and he did a really really good job. Obviously, from a walk on, that was pretty cool to see. From my perspective.